Blurry. Hey there. Hello, everyone. Hey there. Hello. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Yolanda. Hello, Jesse. Hello, Dr. Carl. Hello, Linda, Tony. I'm admitting everybody one by one. Hi. This is exciting. Hey, Dr. Cheryl, Shalonda. Hey, Roger. How are you? Tanisha. Hey, Dr. Carmen. Hey there. All right. Hey, Tony. So if everybody could mute till we kind of get started here. Hey there. Excellent. Hey, Heidi. All right. So I'm Mikichi. Hey there. All right. Admitting everyone. So if you can kind of go on unmute. There's Yolanda. All right. Very good. All right. So welcome. So today we're going to go over the Branding Accelerator Blueprint. So, hey, Crystal. All right. So I didn't want you all to have it. So I'm going to have to watch to see who to admit. But I just always say those that show up, go up. Thank you for showing up on time. This will be worth you being here for this hour. And really the main thing about doing this webinar, talking about PR is that, hey, Trina, is like, why PR? And before I really get into the presentation and everything, people think that know why they really want PR, but it's really a little bit deeper than probably what you think. All right, so this is the thing. I got to keep looking at this admit bar. All right. The main thing is that whatever we're selling, PR will boost it. Okay, that's the main thing. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Pam Perry, PamPerryPR.com. All right. Hey, Alicia, and I'm going to have my brand accelerators come on first so they can actually kind of give you a little bit. So why PR? It'll help you, one, boost your sales. The other thing, it boosts credibility. What we say about ourselves is good, but what other people say about it is even better, right? So I can say and post on social media all day, this and that, but if I get an endorsement from a newspaper, magazine, radio, or television show, that boosts your credibility. It's not what you say, what other people say about you and what journalists vet and bring on. The other thing is you can run an ad, and we're pretty much trained to, hey, Alan, we're pretty much trained to ignore ads, right? We're ignored ads. But when you hear editorial or you see a story, you watch it. An ad is a direct buy, whereas PR, definitely people pay more attention to. The other thing, it generates leads. So the Branding Accelerator is only for people who have something to sell, people who have a need for leads, people who want to sell things to the leads. Okay, so if you don't have that together, this probably won't work for you because this is all this is. It's really about business. It's not about fame. It's not about ego. Like, I just want some PR. I want to get a brand because for whatever reasons, but it's really for leads. The other thing, it attracts speaking gigs. So this is primarily the Branding Accelerator is really for people who want to get speaking gigs. Speaking gigs, either where you're going to speak to sell or either speak to be a keynote speaker and that sort of thing, kind of like in the range of 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. One of my clients, you see him here, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, he's on the cover of Speakers Magazine, right? And so he's on the cover of Speakers Magazine and he gets speaking gigs. He gets paid to speak, all right? Not everyone gets paid to speak, they speak to sell. So you have to have something to sell. The other thing is that PR makes your marketing more effective. It's like that boom, right? It gives it your marketing, and you're maybe doing a lot of things. You're doing the networking, but PR is one of those things where it just gives you that extra push because people will say, I've seen you everywhere. Where have I seen you? Where have I seen you? It's true story that people will see me in different places in PR on media outlets and they'll say, I've seen you somewhere. And then they'll ask, what do you do? And then they engage me as customers. The other thing is about Google, right? A lot of things are about Google, like If you're not on Google, you don't exist. You've heard me probably say that a lot, right? So that's one of the things of why you want PR. The other thing is that if you're going to pick someone who you would like to speak, or someone, hey, Greg, let me admit Greg, someone who doesn't have PR, who would you pick? Someone who has been seen in local newspapers, radio, podcasts. You've heard them, you've seen them, you've seen their messaging over and over again in a media outlet, versus someone that you haven't. They have a great website, they have a great media kit, you know, the pictures look good, but have they been seen anywhere? What have I heard their story? So if someone Googles you, they want to see on page 1 of Google, the first 10 results of any kind of magazines that you've been in. They want to see if you've been on some radio shows, some television shows, doesn't even matter how old, but they're looking to see if maybe you've been in Essence, right? They're going to be checking you out. And then the other thing is that it is one of the things, this is most important, that increases your perceived value to your customer, which allows you to raise your prices. All right, that's really, really key, because once you have that perceived value through the media, through the third-party endorsement, it allows you to charge more for speaking gigs, to charge more for your consulting, to charge more for your coaching, to charge more for your programs. And a good example was that is Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, right? He's been seen in New York Times and Wall Street Journal, Success Magazine. He told me that we're going to get him in Success Magazine again, but the first time he was in Success Magazine was when he got his book contract for his second book, the one that I love, Wealth Choice. The other thing is that nurture leads faster. So it takes someone from being a cold lead to warm, to eventually hot, to eventually a customer. So that's one of the main things. So I'm going to share my screen right now and kind of go over a little bit. That way I can have my brand accelerators come in as well. All right. So everyone can see me, making sure that that's good. Can you see me? Kind of tell me if you can. Can you see me? 2 thumbs up if you can. Hey, Reginald. All right, cool, cool. All right. So we're going to go here. So the first thing is, who is this chick, right? Who is this? For those of you who don't know me. Hey, Alan, you were already out? I thought I brought you out. Okay, so who is Dr. Pam Perry? Who is this woman anyway? What is she? Why should I even listen to this child, right? Like, what? You know, she got some pictures, but who is she? And so one of the things that I said is that it doesn't matter so much what other people say. It doesn't matter so much what you say about yourself, but what other people say, right? And so for a long time, you know, this is who I am. I'm a publicist. I have a company, Pam Perry PR. I do this, I do that. Wow. It's like what I'm saying about myself. But what matters is what other people say about you. So I've been featured in a Publishers Weekly, which it's like the Bible's been around like since almost slavery, like 1800s, right? It's been a magazine that really talks about the publishing industry. They called me the PR guru for the African-American Christian market. That was way back, probably about 13 years ago. The Detroit Free Press called me that was years ago too. Me and Marvin Winans were in the same article and said that this is a publicist is almost on an immortal mission, right? Those were things that they said about me. I didn't say it about myself. I just put my head down and do the work. The National Association of Women Business Owners honored me as one of the top 10 women in business in Michigan. Core Magazine, hey Christine, let me make sure. Core Magazine honored me this year as one of the most influential Blacks today. And then one of the ones I'm most proud of is Speakers Magazine. Again, that's my baby, right? So Speakers Magazine won an award as one of the best publications of the year. So what we're going to do right now, is we're going to go behind the curtain. All right. And you're going to look over my shoulder to see the Brand Accelerator program. And then I'm going to go over the blueprint. But before that, because I have some of the graduates that are here, I'm going to have them really talk about what they got out of the Branding Accelerator program. Okay, let me make sure I put it in nice. Okay, so I'm going to hear from some of our grads. You'll see here there's a picture of Kiera Johnson. She also won one of the top 10 Michigan women in business award from NABO. And then also you see Dr. Missy Johnson and Dr. Carmen Thomas. And I want to say that Alicia is here. So I want to make sure that, let me pull her up here and bring her up, Alicia Houston. She was one of the ones that was in the, unmute Alicia here. She was one of the ones that was the first one in the Branding Accelerator. Alicia Houston.
Hello, hello.
Hey there, how are you?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
Good, good, good. Should I should probably stop sharing so that you can, there you go. So people can see you.
Okay.
All right, there you go. So Alicia, right,
Yes.
there you go. I'm gonna pin you here so that people can see.
So I believe I was in the first cohort, right, of the Accelerator.
Not only were you the first, you were the first person to sign up for the first.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So
I didn't even know that. Look at that. Come on now.
Yes.
And I will tell you, it was something that took me out of my comfort zone because I was raised to just kind of be behind the scenes, be quiet, just let things speak for themselves. And it was through the Branding Accelerator, that participation, that I began to build a community of other individuals like-minded, that we began to support each other. But it also gave me the lens of how important it is to create your own story, to make sure your story is heard, to make sure, yes.
So, you know, so if I carry this around with me, you know, you're very special to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was on the cover of Speakers Magazine 2019. And she was at her event, did all the social and that sort of thing. So she's one of those brand accelerators that excels. So go on. I just want to just tell you that. I just want you to carry this with me.
I love it. I love it. And so sometimes I know I can speak for myself where I was at that time, and then I'll bring you to where I am now. I was just kind of, so I'm a woman in STEM. I have a background in pharma. I was a co-founder of a biopharma company. And so I'm very left brain, right? So behind the scenes, do the work, head down. And so it was really difficult for me to envision myself out there in the front like that. PR, I think of news, I think of all of these outlets. And so, but in this program and even in talking to Pam, I realized how important it was for me to get my story out there. I was moving into a consulting-based business, and people can't choose me if they don't even know who I am, if they don't know my story, if I'm not showing up. And so it was in that space of the Branding Accelerator. And I will tell you, very uncomfortable. Let me just be transparent. It was very uncomfortable to begin to talk about yourself in such a way and to show up in this, on all these platforms. And you just grow really gradually every class, every week, every month. And I'm still growing today. I still go back into the platform and I listen to recordings and I remind myself of things as I am expanding my territory, as I am walking it out, as I am becoming more visible and allowing other people to find me. And Pam, you said it best. Like, there was one gentleman who wanted to work with me and he said, I've seen you on all these platforms. I'm like, okay. And so Pam, it's very real. It just becomes organic. People see you, you pop up, and then you learn. Like, I would never have had a speaker's one sheet had I not been in the Branding Accelerator. And it has been iterated over time, right? It's being iterated again now, but I would not have even had that stepping stone and had that push to get out there and to create that. So there were so many things that the Branding Accelerator brought into my preview that I did not really realize was needed, and that I continue to fall back on and to iterate so it becomes more masterful every time. Podcast opportunities, just so many things that you don't realize really give you that visibility and allow your voice to be heard from you. So you're setting the tone, and then others begin to kind of take up the mantle on your behalf as well, and begin to honor you and want to work with you and partner with you in different ways. So I too thought PR, oh, PR, no, I don't want PR. But it really is powerful in how this has been set up and how Pam walks you along, and how she has the different individuals come into the course that are in these different modules that you'll go through. And she has the experts come in and give you, and they're right there. Like, you can ask them questions. They'll put you on the spot with your elevator pitch. You're like, oh my goodness. So anybody who's working on that elevator pitch, listen, I feel you. I still get a little sweaty about that elevator pitch, but you have experts right there in the space that you can tap into, and they tell you, reach out to me, and they mean it. So the Branding Accelerator really did. I'm serious. It changed my vision. It changed my business. It changed me. And I continue to grow in my comfort, in different levels of comfort, falling back on the principles that I learned in the Branding Accelerator. And I'm still in touch with my sisters and brothers in the Branding Accelerator, that we built different types of relationships. We have referred each other. We have been on each other's platforms. We've been to each other's events. We continue to support each other as well. So really a powerful space in so many ways.
And one of the things was the clarity that you got. I remember you having that clarity, and we talked about your background, and I'm like, that is not going to be wasted. That is part of your story. And that was really, really clear. I remember when you said you got that, and it was like, we call it America's top neuro leadership speaker. Just getting that particular moniker was like, okay, who are those people in the spaces that you're going to play with, right? And you told me, and I said, okay, this is where you are. And we did the magazine, America's Top Neuro, and really she'll explain that, because she's a STEM girl, leadership speaker. So those are one of the things. Just getting that clarity was like, what? Now we have that. Now we know where to go. What media outlets to go after, and what podcasts, and what kind of articles you need to write for what particular magazines. What does your content look like in your social? I mean, it was like that clarity right there. I was like, well, I'm a leadership coach. It's like, what kind? There's a ton of leadership coaches. And so when she kind of told me, and I listened, and that's the thing about the program, I really, really listened. And we had offline conversations as well as a group, because mostly it was a group, but we had offline conversations because I really, really want to get people. And that's it. Alicia, she has another podcast, so she's busy.
I got to speak to that clarity piece, Pam. Thank you for bringing that back, because that was a few years ago, and you just keep going. I was that person. So I was like, let me go over here. Let me go over here. Let me go over here. Let me go. Oh my gosh. And by the end, you have diluted yourself, your messaging, really your pricing. Come on, let's keep it 100 right here. I mean, so many things that you have diluted, and you are not really standing in your expertise. So there was so much value in that clarity. Thank you, Pam, because it then began to let me see, what lane do I really need to be in? Stop trying to partition myself in all of these different areas. What do I really stand for? Where do I really need to show up as the leader in that arena? And that was really crucial, because I know we want to be all things to all people, but you're jack of all trades, master of none. And so Pam really helped me to see the value in that. And when I began to use my voice in the right arenas, the right opportunities began to come to me. So I'm a woman in STEM, right? I'm speaking on a huge engineering women's leadership platform in
NASA?
June. Say again?
Did you do NASA?
I did NASA. So I've spoken for NASA.
There you go.
All of these things, thank you. So all of these things that when you really—
She forgets, it's just like she does so much stuff.
Yeah, but when you take ownership, it really opens doors. So I want to encourage you to be okay when Pam tells you, okay, you just casting this wide net, because sometimes you can feel attacked a little bit. But it's really a good thing, because she's helping you hone it down, gain the clarity so that you can walk in dominion in your lane with power. And that's it. I'm good.
That's it. That's it. I mean, when she told me that NASA, I was like, that's a natural. I wasn't surprised. I see a lot for the Brand Accelerator. So Alicia, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, Reginald, I'm bringing people in as we, you know, it is recorded, so you could catch it, you know, and they'll send it out later. Hey, bring in Tony, but that is so key. Having clarity is really, really key. And so I want to bring on another accelerator. I think it's Dr. Carmen. If Dr. Carmen is here, or one of the other accelerators, let's see, Dr. Carmen. Oh, there's Yolanda. If Yolanda wants to come in and speak, the voiceover lady. I'm looking here on the side. And Nikichi wasn't in the Brand Accelerator, but she has been working with me for a while. And if you want to unmute, you could tell your story as well. I'm looking for Dr. Carmen because she said she was coming in. All right, Yolanda. Yolanda Spearman, can you unmute? Can you talk, Yolanda? All right. Yolanda Spearman, I'm trying to unmute you, sweetie. I don't want to mute everybody. Okay, there you are. All right. Yolanda, oh, Heidi asked, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. That's what that stands for. That's what we said, the STEM. So for right now, Yolanda, or till Dr. Carmen comes in, Nikichi.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Now I can. We need to hear you because you're the voiceover lady.
I'm traveling, so if I drop out, I'm sorry, but because I'm traveling from Nashville. But hi, hello everyone.
There. Oh, good, good. So tell us real quick. She was a Brand Accelerator, the last, not the last, but the before the last. Okay, so the first one. Yes. So tell everyone where you started and where you are now. She's traveling, so be careful driving. So tell us a little bit about where you started and where you are now, and just give a couple of minutes, and then I'll go into, because I want to say this really quick. Each Brand Accelerator cohort is different, and everybody has a different way of working together. Her cohort was different than Alicia's was with Dr. Carmen. I want them, because they still speak and that sort of thing. Each one, that's why I handpick each cohort to be in the program. Like I said, everyone is not going to fit together. And I know that by speaking to each one individually before I put them together. It's nothing worse than working with someone over 12 weeks and it's like, this is the wrong group. So one of the things with Yolanda is that you will have business besties. You'll be put together with someone that will kind of push you and really keep you accountable, as well as me keeping you accountable, but the accelerators keep each other accountable. So Yolanda, tell us a little bit about where you are and what you're doing now. Okay, so she said that she may drop off. Coming back.
I was about clarity. I got a lot.
Go on.
Okay, come back. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, so I did get a bestie out of the group, and Letitia Nicole, I talk to her all the time. She helps me maintain clarity and stay on point and stay focused. I was able to really, really grow and do a lot more voiceovers and get myself out a lot more. I have gotten so many more really nice jobs. I got a chance to meet Rodney Salisbury, which is really nice. I was in a group with Nancy Cartwright, who was Bart Simpson, just the other day. And I've gotten a chance to just be around and be exposed to so much more and get really cool jobs. So it has been really helpful. And I even got a speaking engagement because of all of the PR. So I did. And I did not apply, look for, or anything. And it's a paid speaking engagement, and it pays very well. And all of this came from my PR, and specifically I focused on LinkedIn, and I do a lot on LinkedIn, and I get a lot of things featured and a lot of things out there, but it was uncomfortable for me too, just like the other young lady said. I really didn't love doing that, but now it's become a part of me. I've become really, really laser focused on the things that I really focused on, and it is producing results.
I love it. I love it. One of the things I remember in leveraging her PR, she was in a magazine for Today's Purpose Woman. She was a cover of Tap In magazine. Obviously, she was in Speakers magazine. I saw her on podcasts. One day I was on LinkedIn. I popped on and I was like, she's doing this LinkedIn Live interview. It was on leadership. And because she's executive at a major corporation, and they were noticing her posts and things like that, very consistent, had a lot of clarity on her brand. And I said, how did you get that interview? She said, they saw me on LinkedIn. I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. So one of the main things of working with Yolanda was really getting her to do the clarity. And she put together a photo shoot, a one sheet, all of the things, because you have to be prepared with your brand. So Yolanda, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So I'm gonna share the screen now. If I don't see Carmen on, I want you all to go over the corner. Or Nikichi, if you had anything that you wanted to add as well, while I share this. Okay, there you are. Hey there. Where are you?
This is me, Nikichi.
There you go. Yes, there you are.
Okay, everyone. First of all, what I would like to share is that I was not part of the Branding Accelerator program or the Get Ready to Start. When I met Pam, I had recently gone through a white group, whatever, Steve Harrison's group, where I learned about the one sheet, all the things Pam had, but there wasn't the type of community that I see here. I didn't have a bestie buddy or anything along those lines. I got the products, I had the assets. So when I came to Pam, I had my one sheet, I had my media sheet, I had, a lot of the different assets that are absolutely essential to really, start and get started. So Pam, I don't know exactly what Pam saw in me, but she hooked me up with stuff that I had never even thought about. I had not thought about having my own TV show. I had not, you know what I mean? So she hooked me up with that. And I did a couple of episodes. She had press releases done for different things that I had doing that helped to, because I didn't have a media list. I mean, I have my own list and constant contact and all like that, but I don't really have contacts with the media. So it just helped to, it helped to bring me into community, because being on Clubhouse, and she hooked me up with podcasts with people who have been through the program and all like that, just gave me, added exposure. And now I don't even have to seek things out. Things come to me. I got too much stuff to do. There's too much coming up.
I love the picture that you put up with you and the justice. Okay. Ketanji.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
I helped Nikichi understand how to leverage her assets. She's saying she didn't know what she had. So let me just tell you. So I could see it in people, and she had the it. And without even like seeing a lot of her things, I just went to her website and I saw what she was about, very focused. So I love that. And she became a private client. And I said, she says, yeah, I happen to have a picture of me and Angela Davis. What? Where is that? And let's put that out there. It's just like those kind of things help position you and brand you so that people can associate. She said, yeah. And I think Angela Davis was holding your book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you are in this space where she is, and Angela Davis is like one of the iconic people of the civil rights movement, and she's in the reparations movement as well. I'm like, she's holding your book. Where is this picture at? It's like, oh my God. I think I had to dig for it. And it was on Instagram, but I'm thinking like, no, we're going to actually, when we send out different websites, because there's certain websites that we had you on as well, we're sending that picture out. Okay. Because they may not know Nikichi Taifa, but they do know Angela Davis. And why is Angela Davis holding her book? Or Dr. Greg Carr. We may not know Nikichi, but why is Greg Carr having the forward? I mean, those were things that to leverage. She had so much going on. I was like, let's hone this in so that you could really get out there.
Well, the thing I want to really say is that just the other day I came across a 2017 presentation I did where Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, who's now Supreme Court Justice, was moderating, and she's taking notes while I'm talking and nodding and smiling. So I just went and posted that yesterday on Twitter and on LinkedIn. Even though it was from 2017. I mean, hello.
If I had it, I would have put it up
and everything.
Yes, if I had it, I would have put it up there. It's just those things that my brain just processes different about marketing, PR, and promotion and branding. And so a lot of times what I do is I try to bring all of this out of you to realize that this is now going to be a natural part of you. It's like riding a bike. Once you do it, you never forget. And so Nikichi was also featured in Essence, and that's part of her bio. She's been in People magazine. There are different assets that she's had. And even though she says maybe that was a few years ago, but it really doesn't matter because you made that accomplishment. So those are the things that I just love about Nikichi, and her and Judge Lianya, who was also in the Brand Accelerator, the very last one. Those two, they have been on platforms together on the TV show. I think it was Be More News or Black News.
Yeah, with Donnie Glover.
Yeah. So you guys have been on there a lot. You know, you've been on there as tag team, and like really like the two lawyers that he uses as a go-to expert, which is really the whole point of it. That's one of the whole point of it. So thank you so much for sharing. Yes. I mean, I can't wait to that 60-minute thing. You know, that's going to be happening soon. So, you know.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
TED talk, my TEDx talk, you hooked up for me.
That's right. Okay. And I said,
so much.
What's the next one? And she says, I'm good. So everybody thinks TEDx talks are the holy grail, and they are, you know, you need to be able to do one. Don't make it like your main goal, your only goal. But once you do it, it's like your badge of like, hey, this is my badge of validity, so to speak. I've done it, been there, done that. So she's done it. And I think it drops does it drop next Thursday?
Next week, sometime next week. Yeah.
Okay. And so we'll talk about how to leverage your TEDx talk. Okay. Because that's one of the things too. You do it once and you want to just make sure like, hey, I got this. So I love it. Nikichi, thank you so much. So I'm going to share screen and really go over I'm going to share the screen and actually go over the other part here. And actually not this one. I want to share this one. I'm going to stop this here. I'm going to actually go into the Brand Accelerator program so you can actually see how different each one was. Like every person's Brand Accelerator program was different. And it was a lot of work on my part because I could have done like a cookie cutter thing and say everybody's going to go through the same modules, but that's not how I roll. You know, I really, really care. And this is one of the things, I don't know if Melissa is on, but Melissa wrote me a note and she said, Pam, and this is the kind of thing that I love to do with my customers and clients that beyond like the branding thing, but she says, thank you, Pam, for being a vessel of the Most High. Thank you for your mentorship, patience, and belief. And so anyone in my program, I have a belief in them. Even if they don't have a belief in themselves, it's like, nope, I see it, you got it. She said, if it were not for you walking in your calling, then so many could not walk in theirs. I appreciate who you've been since we met, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life. And when I said the other day, I love having friends. It's like friends that are clients, they call them friends. I love having friends because my clients become my friends, and I really, really do care. So let me go to the this here right now. But yeah, it's like, yeah, if you could take it, you can make it. Like I could be tough, and Nikichi and Alicia, everyone knows that I could be tough, and it's like, you know, you need to get rid of this, don't do this or whatever. But it's all in love. It's really all in love. So it's not like I'm doing something to deter you. It's just I see more in you than probably you see in yourself. So this is behind the curtain. Can everyone see? Yolanda, can you see? Can you see my screen? Okay. All right. So this is my members areas. There's some people on here that are in my Ready, Set, Go Speak program. They don't see the other ones. They only see the ones that they signed up for. So the Brand Accelerator program, the first cohort was 2018. That's the one Alicia was in. She was in the very first one, and she was actually the very first one in the very first class, right? And so she can go into this anytime. She has access to this forever, for life, right? And like I said, it is an intense 12 weeks. So this program is only for someone who's willing to commit the time, because I can't work with you if you're not committed. I can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself. So this first accelerator has the modules. The week one, we always talk about our purpose. We talk about the assets, the branding assets. We talk about the word, whether it's talking about books. We talk about speaking, which is podcasting and radio. We talk about the television interview. We talk about publishing books, how to really find your tribe. We talk about how to partner, and that's really important. One of my mentors is Dr. George Frazier, and we talk about partnerships, whether you're partnering in a book, like the Speak Up book, which is an anthology, or we partner with Black Speakers Network, or we're partnering with NMPA, National Association of Publishers, NMP, National Newspapers Publishers Association, or NABJ. But partnerships is really, really important in terms of building your brand and publicity. That's just me. Not every publicist does that. Just to be clear, I do work, my specialty is working with African-American authors and speakers. That is really clear. I'm not unapologetic about that. If you are someone that's different, I could work with you as well, but just knowing that a lot of my media contacts are from that community. How to find media contacts, which is my favorite thing to talk about, what to say to them, how to say it, and when social media, especially on LinkedIn. So just if I open this particular one, you'll see how it looks, how to find media contacts. So each one, it's going to be a Zoom, and I actually do a whole presentation, and I talk about the video, and on this particular one, talking about PR being earned and owned and that sort of thing. But then I actually show you how to get media, right? These are the lesson notes. And then there's a bonus one here that talks about LinkedIn. And you'll hear me for most of the part, everyone in the program is LinkedIn. It's like, this girl is talking about LinkedIn. What about Instagram? Hey, what about TikTok? Yeah, I'm on that too. But LinkedIn is really where you find the speaking engagements that will pay, where you find the clients that will pay. Instagram is good for buzz and really that whole feel good, and probably get the dopamine to your brand. Like, oh, I feel really good. People are liking my stuff. But the money is on LinkedIn, let me tell you. So that was week 1. Week 9, how to position yourself as an expert. And this was someone from Rolling Out that we had as a guest speaker. Again, each lesson has a guest speaker, or either myself, and it also has homework, or it has like its own download that people can actually see as well. That's just week 9. Then week 10 of this is how to put together a sizzle reel. I love this one. Dr. Candace Hayes really brought it to, she spoke with them like initially, like how to get it all together, right? And she really is, I gave you a speaker toolkit, why every speaker needs a speaker reel. And then also too, there was a bonus lesson there about how to get booked on TV and other PR services. So I always over deliver. And like I said, if people can take it, they can make it, but you have to be serious. Week 11 is my favorite. I love print, me and Kimberly Hayes Taylor. And then also to, I can't remember her name now, Lakeisha. We talked about print and really how to really get bylines, and also how to pitch, right? Bylines meaning how to write articles, and then how to actually pitch to get articles, and the do's and don'ts for media follow-up. And again, the bonus lesson here was how to guest appearance. What do you do after you get your PR, right? After you get the article, that kind of thing. So each one of these are the things that I really, really want people to get. We go over obviously radio, TV, and print, because it is intensive about PR. It's not like about podcasting. It's not about social media, but it really is about PR. And people need to be on a schedule to pitch PR, right? It's not going to happen if you don't put it on your calendar. It's like today on Monday, I'm going to pitch from 9 a.m. to noon. And these are the ones I'm going to pitch to. And I actually give you a whole calendar on that. And this is like the last one. This is like that. So that was the one particular one. Hey, Brenda. That was the first cohort, right? So then we have Dr. Missy. Okay. All right. So Dr. Missy is in. Let me stop share for a quick, have Dr. Missy come in. Dr. Missy, you just missed Alicia. Dr. Missy, if you could come off of mute and kind of tell people what it's like working with me, Dr. Missy Johnson. Hey there. Can you come off mute? Dr. Missy?
I'm here.
There you are. Okay. All right. All right. Let me stop share. Where are you? There you are. I'm going to pin you. Okay. All right. So this is Dr. Missy Johnson. She was actually one of those people that I saw the it in a long time ago. Love her, love her. She was the second cover of Speakers Magazine. The first cover was George Fraser. The second cover was Fearless Women Rock. And she's always been fearless. She has Courageous Women books and conferences, and the whole brand is grown, but she's always had the focus. I saw the it in her and knew that there was more for her, that she needs to be seen and get out there. Dr. Missy knows that I push her a lot. Have you done the press release? Have you submitted your thing? Have you done that? You know, so there's certain things that I know. I say, okay, this is where you want to go. Then let's make sure that you're doing it. And one of the things about Dr. Missy, I will say, she's not afraid to do the work. If I say, listen to this podcast, I will send her a random podcast. She'll do it. And that's what I love about her. And that's why her brand is exploding. Look at this background. I just love this background too. So tell us what your experience was starting working with me and then where it is now.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pam. A lot of times we have all these ideas in our head that we want to do, but just having the infrastructure, you have that, but just getting the pieces together, because so many requests were coming at me to speak and do things, but I didn't have all of the pieces together. So working with Pam, when she, like she said, when she said, do this, I did it. I'm not afraid, to do the work. A lot of times we want to build this brand, build a culture, but you don't have the infrastructure to have a smooth transition. And that's what Pam helped me to do. The pieces that I needed to get in place. I ain't saying I did everything, so let me just keep it real. I didn't do everything, but the things that I needed to do, the things I needed to implement, Pam was there when she said that she really believes in you. She really, really does. One thing I will say is that this is my personal experience, if you are a person that takes things personal when somebody says something, then you really might not be ready for Pam, because it is an accelerator. You are going quick and you must do the work. I'm not gonna say you do the work all the time, but this is a program where you have to take the emotions out of it and do the work. And for me, because I'm a beast myself, I needed a general, and I'm not intimidated. I don't wear the emotions on my sleeve. And if I do wear them, and Pam can tell you, I will tell Pam I'm mad. Or I would tell her I did.
It's like, it's okay, but we're gonna get over it. We're gonna get over it.
And that's exactly what she said. Well, you can be mad and you get over it, but she don't take it personal, and neither do I. So I'm not afraid to express my feelings. And then after you express your feelings, then she give you another assignment. So
Like, this is the thing that I know, and I know that, and one of the things, she had she's moving into like script writing and things like that, and really expanding her brand into more entertainment and television, telling her stories that way. But the moniker that you have now, how it all ties together, what do you say? What is your moniker or your tagline?
That it starts with a book, but it's bigger than a book. The book is the hook, but it's bigger than the book. And the reason why I say that is because everything starts with a book, everything starts with a story. So the book is a hook, but it's bigger than a book. That's only if you are a visionary. If you just get stuck on the book, I hate on you, stay with your book. But if you want to build an empire, you want to build an ecosystem for the business that you are creating, to understand it starts with the book is the hook, but it's bigger than the book.
And one of the things too is that when I first met Dr. Missy, and it was about leadership, which is very generic. I guess we're all leaders, but it was very generic, and I couldn't really get what she was saying, and it was like corporate leadership or you know, but we worked on it, chiseled it down, and then it became clear to her when the different medias that I was putting her in, that they knew her from the Fearless Women Rock. It was the program, it's a podcast, it's the Courageous Women books. And I mean, that's just was her brand. Leadership is still part of it. Those are leadership lessons that she teaches, but it was really the fearless part. And it goes back into her story, which is amazing. When she gives her elevator pitch, and she's been in some pitch contests that I've put her in, it's just, it's astounding. And people are like, oh my God. So I just want to say thank you for just being you, stepping up. I love your background. That is a whole nother, that looks like a whole little module, how you can teach people how to do that staging part right there.
You see the red, and I just want to say this before I get off, because you know I just jumped on, I got to jump off. But when people see red, they think I love red. I don't. For me, because I've been through so much, the red means for me that I'm covered by the blood, because he's been so good to me that I'm covered by the blood. And the reason why I have the roses is because everything smells like roses. I've been through the fire, but I don't smell like smoke. So everything is coming up roses.
All right. I love it. I love red, but that's just me. But I know that when people think about Fearless Women Rock, those are the things that they remember. So thank you, Dr. Missy, for jumping on and being part of that. She actually was one of the ones, she does so many books. She actually taught one of the modules about publishing. So that was one of the things that she did that was really, really good. So let me show you more of behind the scenes here. Dr. Missy, you could go on, because I'm telling these accelerators, they are. So let me show you one of the things. Thank you so much. So one of the things too, so that was the first module. So the second module was 2019. We had Kiera, like I said, she was one of the ones that won the National Association of Women Business Owners. Kimberly, who was just on the other day, you all may have seen it. Allison Bond, I love Allison. Allison is in her lane. She just won Miss Fashion Global. She won that contest. That's her over there to the left. Everyone fell into their own lane. I see Magdalena and Charlotte. Charlotte was the one that was in the group that actually pulled a lot of people together, and they did an anthology together. Magdalena was one that has Jamaican heritage. And I told her, I said, listen, don't hide from that. Whatever is your unique gift, we're going to go into it. So she got onto a lot of media and things like that, that were Jamaican American media, which I couldn't do. I'm not Jamaican American, right? I'm like, use what you have. So this particular one was different than the first one. Again, we always go over the purpose to really clarify the brand. We talked about television. We had real television producers that say and ask and tell people exactly what it is that what they're looking for when you want to get on television. And so we actually had someone there that talked about that. Then we actually talked about the skinny, about being booked in the speaking industry. Candace was there, Dr. Gail Hayes, who's no longer with us, but she spoke. And really all of these downloads are part of the program, and they can go back to them anytime. When Dr. Missy said, I may not have done all of them, that's why it's 12 weeks, because you can't get all through this in like 6 weeks, right? Even 4 weeks. How to be noticed. Again, these are things about Google, how to get your website together. I will probably talk to people ad nauseum about getting their websites together. But those are some of the things to shine online and be noticed. And this particular one, we had Giselle, which is a photographer and a stylist, talk about how to really shine online. And it's for men too. It's not just women, it's for men as well. How to social media, we had a little bit of course there. How to tell your story, well, we're practicing that. How to pitch your story. And this particular one, we had Denise Hill and Lauren Hudson. Both of them are experts and Emmy Award producers and radio hosts. We had them actually in there. Again, any of these people who are in the program, they can talk to the people. Call Lauren up, ask Denise later once they actually have talked to them and they did their pitches. And someone actually, Dr. Geneva actually got booked on the spot when she did her elevator pitch. Denise said, I need you. How to position yourself to be booked in major media, what to expect, words of advice. And these are from senior editors. This is from Alfred Edmonds, which is from Black Enterprise. He was actually one of the presenters. Again, these are videos. And Felicia Henderson. which actually she was a reporter with the Detroit News for about 3 decades. And so they really give you insider tips, but also to people always ask me, how do you meet the media? This is one of the ways to meet the media. The media are my friends. So I introduce people to my friends. The basics of how to publish like a boss. I think this is the one here where Kim Brooks and Ken Wassinger, they were on, and they actually give you all of their insider secrets. A lot of people ask me, and this one was different, like, how do you get sponsors? So sponsors of how to sponsor your live events. And so we had someone, Linda Holler, who was a expert in sponsorships, actually give them her insider secrets and show them, I show specific sponsorship decks that you can actually take and use them as a template. How to monetize your content, how to repurpose your content. This is one as well that we had Stephanie Callahan, who I just love, talked about how to repurpose your content, and then how to wrap up at the words of wisdom at the very end. So a lot of them were given words of wisdom, and I was telling them where to go next. So you can kind of see the brand accelerator is very rich, very dense, and it is not for play. All right, it's not for play. And that was just the first 2. Each one of these are different. The 22 cohort was different than the 2021 cohort. Again, the 2021 was Monica, and all of these people are doing extremely well now. Lamberts is doing a continual podcast now. Priscilla is, she got on Clubhouse the other day, and she was just saying how her book launch was just phenomenal. People are buying her books by the case over and over again. LJ is speaking more because she found her niche. But each one of their courses, these are just some of the things that each one of these are different. The business strategy with Cadino, she did a whole thing about the offer framework and planning your offer for this particular cohort. It's different for each one. And then for the main thing too, if we go here to like week 11, how to create your own launch, and produce your own TV show, because this particular group was small, but they were ready. So they can figure out how to really get booked on TV. And Joy just really brought that. And she told them that, hey, if you have anything that you want, I'll help you with it. And that's one of the beauties of it. And then the last cohort starts in May. So let me stop the screen. All right, so the blueprint. What is the blueprint of all of this, right? Can you all see my screen? Make sure you can see. Can you see where I'm sharing? Can you see it? Yolanda, oh, you can. All right, let me make sure I share the screen, go back to the presentation. And that was just kind of like because I'm trying to get time here. So now you can see it. All right, cool. All right. Slideshow. So the blueprint, what is the blueprint for all of those 12 modules, right? It's like, oh my God, that looks like so much, Pam. What is it? Let me just break it down. And this is really like the main thing. And because I've been doing it for so long, I know I have to break it down over 12 weeks, but basically the blueprint is making sure that you have verifiable expertise. So if you apply for the program and I talk to you, I need to know that you've been doing it for a while. So Yolanda Churchill, one of the things, and I've talked to her at a conference for Nicole Roberts Jones, her verifiable expertise, what she loves, what she starts talking about. I can pick up on that and I can see what it is and what she helps people with. How do you then, that's the it. She has the it factor in her area of expertise. How does she then take that into really the niche of where she's going to make money? The messaging, we actually talk about how to do your messaging and your talking points. The next part is really, and that part right there is probably about 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, because a lot of times people are not really sure about how to really put their messaging and talking points together. Because if you don't have that, you can't get on media. Like, okay, so you have this expertise. How are you going to actually position it into the media? Then the other thing is making sure that your content, Nikichi was saying that, I just found this picture of me and Justice Katanje, it's like that's part of her content strategy now. She's thinking that way because she's really clear on her niche and her talking points and her messaging. Then how to find the right media. that's a piece of the puzzle that me as a publicist for about 3 decades can really help you with, of how to find the right media. Not like, oh, how do I find the producer at CNN? Of course I have that. Not how to find the editor-in-chief of Black Enterprise, or how to find, O Magazine. That I have, but how to find the right media for you at this point, so that you have some wins within the 12 weeks, so that you're actually having, at least by the 12 weeks, have at least 12 media booked, right? How to find the right media for you, whether it's a cover of magazine or whatever, and then what to say to each outlet precisely to get booked. That's the blueprint. It's wash, rinse, and repeat. Becky Davis, who is one of the clients that was on Speakers Magazine, she was on the cover, and she got on Fox Soul because of her story, the story that was in Speakers Magazine. Bishop Vashti McKenzie was on the cover. Obviously, people love Vashti McKenzie. She's everywhere, from Essence to Ebony to different places. But the magazine, Speakers Magazines, helps promote your events. Those are the things. Becky had an event. The event was promoted through Speakers Magazine, and then you get other media beyond that. Dr. Shirley, she's over there as well. Met her at Les Brown's event when Les was on the cover. She also wants to be featured in the magazine as well, or she was featured in the magazine as well. So media, not just TV, matters. We have contacts to Inc., Forbes, Entrepreneur, Fast Company, Business Insider, and Success magazines. But those are after you have built some of the branding assets that we take you through, whether it is doing your speaker kit, doing the photos, redoing your website, which I may probably gut for a lot of people. It's like, oh my God. But there are, for each person that is in it, I really take them through some things that makes them think. It's not just, I'm going to spoon feed you, but you have to think this through. I just help you with the strategy. So what does all this mean? So all of this, oops. So the value of the Branding Accelerator program. The course training alone is roughly about $2,000, right? If you were to take all of those different pieces, the contacts that I give you, whether it's media contacts or even contacts in terms of how to put together pieces of your system, those are the contacts I give, but primarily media contacts. Content creation, from that standpoint, I really help you develop how to put together the blogs, the articles, the bios, especially the bios. Oh my God, I will make sure that your bio is correct, because the bio and the picture are the main things you need in order to get booked in media and to get on speaking places. So I really make sure that that is correct. And I also provide press releases as well. So I provide press releases so that you can have, if we have the hook, like Dr. Missy, I like her using the words, have the hook, then we actually put that together in a press release and we put it on the wire. That's provided in the program. The communication that you have with me, whether it's offline, because maybe you need a little bit more guidance than the group program, then the communication with me over the 12 weeks is worth $7,500. And then the creative critiques, you will put together not spoon feeding you, you will put together certain things. It's like, how does this email sequence look? Or how does this press release headline sound? And I will give you that feedback. You have access to me over the 12 weeks. And then the community, kind of like what Alicia was saying, the business bestie that they have, or Yolanda have business besties, or even like Dexter and Dr. David. So one of the things, so the investment is only $7,500 for 12 weeks. If you deposit the $1,500 by the end of April, it will make your payments $2,000 a month. But the bonus when you do it fast is that you get a one-on-one session with me, and I'll do an entire brand audit, like what it is that you need to fix before we actually get started at the end of May. Like, what are the things that you need to have in place? I'll look at all your branding assets. If you don't have them, I'll tell them these are the things that you need, but more than likely, what that audit means is, like, I'll take a look at all of your bios and across social media, and do a Google search to see what it is that you really, really need. Okay. Or you can do, alternatively, you could do $2,500 a month for 3 months. So we start the May 24th, which is Tuesday, and then we'll meet every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we graduate So, with your certificate and everything at the end of August. And you can go to brandacceleratorprogram.com, apply, because not everybody is going to be admitted. Again, I want people who are committed, who really want to take their brand to another level. You will be included in Speakers Magazine once your brand is shining and it's right and tight, because the magazine goes out to media. I can't have anybody in that magazine looking raggedy, right? So they have to have their stuff together. So I'm looking at the time here. It is exactly, and I promised 15 minutes of questions, but it is exactly 6:30. So if you have any questions about the program, you can come off mute and ask them now. And I am done. I want to make sure I didn't spend too much time and keep anyone longer than, try to be very conscientious, even though sometimes we do go over in our other programs. But if there are any other questions, you can put them in the chat, or you can come off mute and ask them now. But I thank everyone for joining us today. All right, but yeah, May 24th is when we're going to start. Thank you, Cindy. She said, I love this. Jesse, good evening. All right, cool. Any questions from anyone? I see Dr. Carl, you're from Memphis. Natasha?
Miss Pam,
Yes.
did you say this was your last time that you're going to do this?
The next one won't be until 2023. January 2023. Sharon
Thank you.
said, all right, you're welcome. Thank you for coming, Sharon. So a lot of times people are looking at the Speakers Magazine. They'll come to me and say, I want to know how I can be on the cover. Well, a lot of times you can't be on the cover until the whole brand is together. That's for one thing. We've had Dr. Cindy Trim on the cover. Kim Coles has been on the cover. Obviously, Dennis Kimbrough, and a lot of them are my clients. Coming up will be Michelle McKinney-Hammond will be on the cover. So there are people that are in my network and sphere that, because they have been part of the Speakers Magazine family, they will also be a part of contacts that you can also access as well. So those are really like the main things. Again, like I said, apply at Brand Accelerator Program. We'll have a conversation. You got to fill out a questionnaire. And if you go through the questionnaire and say, woo, I don't know if I can, I don't know if you don't have all the answers to that, that's really the whole point of it. That's how the program really works, so that you can turn all your no's into yeses. That's really the main thing. So if there aren't any other questions or anything, I'm going to head on off. The Ready, Set, Go, Speak, which is the other program. It's a starter program. It's self-paced. I'm not there with you side by side. ReadySetGoSpeak.com. We have once a month, we meet on Zoom. And that program, you can go to ReadySetSpeak.com. And that's really like a self-paced. That's a good place to start until you really can get to the point where you could be accepted in the Branding Accelerator program. So, Tanisha, you're welcome. Tanisha, you're welcome. How can I be contacted after today? Well, if you want to be contacted, you fill out the application on the brandacceleratorprogram.com, and then we set up a time for us to speak if there are any particular questions. But again, it is something that it's not for everybody, and I do have different programs. Like Nikichi was in the private program because she was more ready. She had the robust platform, but the Brand Accelerator will get you to that point. And then the Ready, Set, Go, Speak is a good place to start, just because you have access to a lot of the same information, but I'm not there walking you through it as well. Yeah, so anyway, so make sure that I'm not missing anyone in the chat. Oh, she said, did Alicia speak at, yeah, Alicia did. She did spoke at Women of Color in STEM. That's her lane. And it's funny because sometimes we look at what other people are doing, even like when I look at Dr. Missy or even Dr. Geneva. Dr. Geneva was another one that said, oh, I'm just speaking on leadership. But it was deeper than that. Now she's speaking at so many different places. She did a national conference webinar for AARP, because it was like, where's your tribe? I helped her figure out her tribe. So I'm really proud of all of them. If they did the work, they're doing the darn thing. So with that, I would thank everyone for joining us today. Yay. So go to brandingacceleratorprogram.com if you want to apply, and we'll have a convo. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.